Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you all for being here. I mean, it's such a rainy day, and I get to see so many community advocates, members of our community, residents. Vanessa, Mom, I see you guys here. Thank you for coming, all of you, to support this very important day, which is the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Eva Mack Community Hub. My name is Jennifer Ferriel, and I have the pleasure of serving the City of West Palm Beach as its Director of Housing and Community Development. Mayor, I do believe this is the first ribbon cutting of 2024, correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
It's certainly not the last.
Certainly not the last, but we do enjoy being the first. So. On today's agenda, we have a lot of great speakers who are really going to talk about the importance of this project and all the different services that are going to be provided here. Mayor James is going to give us a big picture overview and discussing that. Our city administrator and my boss, Faye Johnson, who has close ties and a lot of history with this site, she's going to talk about that history and really talk about how the art that is incorporated here represents that history. On behalf of the project team, Alfonso Hernandez from Alfonso Hernandez Architects is going to talk about how the city's vision, how he was able to turn that into the reality that you see here today. We have representatives, Margarita Mayos Mendez from HUD Miami. If you may not know, this project was fully funded with HUD dollars under the Community Development Block Grant Program. Thank you to HUD for doing that. And last, but definitely not least, Commissioner Shalonda Warren, who also serves as the CEO of the Sickle Cell Foundation, is really going to talk about the significance of why we named this building under Eva W. Mack and the many contributions that she had in our community. But before we bring up the mayor to speak, I really want to talk and highlight something that's really been on my forefront as we've been developing and really constructing this project. As many of you know, this building is going to provide the services that were traditionally offered through the Vickers House. Why is everyone looking behind? I thought there was something happening. I'm like, what's going on? The services that are going to be offered here were ones that were offered through the Vickers House. And I'm really happy and excited to know that our community gets to benefit from those services in a more central location. But this building is also going to house members of our staff. And these members of our staff have a really hard job. These are the folks that are tasked every day on a daily basis with engaging with our homeless population. They offer them services, they offer them housing, they offer them shelter, they offer them a listening ear, and really a lot of compassion and support. And needless to say, you can imagine that this job is not only mentally tough. I mean, there's a lot of pressures to address homelessness in not just our city, but in our nation. And there's also a lot of pressures with me being their director, but also, the job is really emotionally daunting. They're dealing with human beings who are suffering severe mental health, severe substance abuse issues, and that task can be really heavy, even on the strongest and most resilient of hearts. So I just want to ask for Allie, Henry, Raven, Centuria, Chris, Michelle, Miss Sandy, Lamika to please stand up. And I ask all of you to please give them a round of applause for the work that they do. A few minor points I just want to highlight and point out. Ms. Kimberly Spence, our Assistant Director of Housing and Community Development, who's somewhere around here. She is the best right and left hand I've ever had and probably will ever had. So I just want to thank her for making the decision to come serve our city. Two rock stars, Ms. Suzanne Berglund, who is the Assistant Director of Engineering Services, and Lucy Joseph, who is the Housing and Community Development Program Coordinator. They were, from the onset of this project in 2018, they have served as the project managers and project leaders, and I could say that without a shadow of a doubt, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for their efforts and their hard work, and for just being two really strong, resilient women. So thank you for managing this from beginning to end. Before I bring up the mayor, one last final point to the entire team, Lucy Charity, our support services, and our vendors who put together this wonderful event. We have Trinity Gourmet, who's providing some very delicious food inside once we're done here, and Cafeology. There's some great coffee. I just had a cup. I'm sure you guys will enjoy. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the CEO of our city, Mayor Keith James.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That was almost good. Some people here have heard me speak before. You got the memo. But good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, let us not let the rain dampen our spirits. You know, I heard that if it rains on your wedding, that's supposed to be a sign of good luck, right? Well, it's raining on our ribbon cutting, which means that, all right, y'all figure it out. So we're so excited to finally celebrate the completion of the Eva W Mack Community Hub. We've been looking forward to this the ribbon cutting, since the groundbreaking that took place in the summer of 2021. And I'm so grateful that you all endured the elements and came out and joined us this morning for this transformative project. You will be hearing from our commission president later, but give her a round of applause even now. Our dedicated city commissioners never get enough recognition. So we're beyond grateful for the work that everyone has done throughout the last 3 years to make this project possible. And we're also grateful, as Jennifer alluded, for the work that will be done in this building. The purpose of this project, as Jennifer alluded to, and we'll be hearing more about later, is to serve as a comprehensive social service hub for West Palm Beach residents. So much good work will be done in this building, and in advance, I know that certain names were read out of some of the stalwart team members who will be here, but I just want to thank each and every one of you who will be working out of this building. Thank you in advance for all the work that you'll be doing on behalf of our citizens of West Palm Beach. A round of applause, anyone who is going to be working here. Jennifer Ferriol, who's the director of our Housing and Community Development Department, and her dedicated team, they had a vision for what this resource center could be, and they've been hard at work identifying the key services that are needed here in our community. Jennifer, thank you again, and congratulations to you and your team for your continued work and in connecting our vulnerable populations with the invaluable services offered by our city and through our community partners. As Jennifer also mentioned, Jennifer, you know, you stole all my thunder, but I'm gonna let you get away with that. This project would not have been possible without the annual appropriations from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, providing a total of $3.6 million in community development block grant funds for the construction of this essential project. I understand that Margarita Mayos Mendez will be addressing us later. Special recognition also goes out to the talented architectural team that came up with this beautiful, aesthetically pleasing design, and certainly to the construction team that executed on that design. With respect to the architectural team, Alfonso Hernandez, who is the founder and CEO of Alfonso Hernandez Architects LLC, is the architectural visionary. And thank you, Alfonso. Y'all can clap for Alfonso. By the way, I understand you have received some recent awards from AIA Palm Beach, so congratulations to you, sir. I also want to acknowledge the representatives from Burke Construction, the construction team. David Martinez, CFO and Principal. David, thank you. Greg Gallman, Vice President of Operations. Greg, thank you. And Janice Simmering, Project Manager. Is Janice here? Tell her I gave her a shout out. Thank you, Burke, and your team for your dedication in bringing this beautiful project to our city. The mission here at Eva W Mack Community Hub aligns with the overarching goal of assuring quality of life through the development of housing, social, and economic opportunities that empower our lower-income communities, including the homeless residents in our city. That mission perfectly aligns with my vision of making West Palm Beach a community of opportunity for all, where in this city, anyone, no matter their income level, race, or zip code, can achieve their personal dreams, whether it's in education, housing, or entrepreneurship. This building, named in honor of the first African-American female mayor of West Palm Beach and founder of this chapter of the Sickle Cell Foundation, Eva Williams Mack, will be the new home of services traditionally offered through our Vickers House in Palm Beach Lakes, the Foundation, and other local nonprofit organizations. The Eva W. Mack Community Hub boasts 2 conference rooms, a computer lab, a co-working space, storage, and donation space, along with restroom facilities equipped with a single-stall shower, embodying a design developed with inclusivity in mind. As you can imagine, the design for this improved space was truly developed with everyone in mind. Since opening its doors in late May of 2023, the Eva W. Mack Community Hub has been a beacon of hope, providing vital services to thousands of people every month. As we celebrate this achievement, our commitment does not end here. We will continue working with local agencies to ensure that the ongoing needs of West Palm Beach residents are met each and every day. Thank you to all who have participated in making this vision a reality. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been following the mayor. You know, that's always a challenge, but be it as it may, you know, I want to first start by just thanking the staff, and I know they've all been mentioned individually, and I'm not going to be redundant, but I do want to take a moment to recognize Assistant City Administrator Armando Fana. He was our Housing Community Development Director, and when it comes to housing, even though he no longer oversees that operation, his hand reaches over, and that's okay. That's okay. I got my start with the city as the first Housing and Community Development Director, and I love the fact that that passion is still near and dear to his heart as it is to mine. So with that said, Jennifer asked me to kind of talk about the art on this great facility and how it connects with the history of the land. And given that we have TV cameras and cell phones now, some of that history that I was part of creating will not be shared. But be it as it may, in terms of the art pieces, I had an opportunity to talk with Sibili Welter, who is our new director in that area, and you know, she just passionately describes art when she talks about it. And if any of you all have had the opportunity to see her presentation, you see that passion for art just kind of come alive. I'm sorry you won't have that same experience with me, but here's what she has prepared for me. It has already been alluded to that the art and then the mirror inside the building, you know, is to symbolize the history of the land. So the mirror is known as Fruition. It was created by a multimedia artist, Nina DeWin. Fruition symbolizes, it's a mandala that symbolizes completeness. The object mandals start at the innermost point of the center and expands into concentric circles that radiate outward. The colorful ceramic glass tiles begin in the center with colors symbolic of water, acknowledging the historical use of the land, which was once a black-owned swimming pool from 1956 into the mid-1980s. So in terms of my personal connection with it being the first black swimming pool here within the city, you know, as a born and raised resident of West Palm Beach, growing up in public housing, which is just right down the street, my summers were actually spent in part at Roosevelt Pool. I am the 6th child of 10 kids, and my older brother, Will, was an incredible swimmer, and he actually learned how to swim here when it was Roosevelt Pool. So we would all come literally every day to Roosevelt Pool. It was not just a place where you learned how to swim. it was a safe space where you hung out even though you may not get in the water. Some of our friends were afraid of water, wouldn't take the swimming lesson. And I see Mike Odom here. Mike, I don't want you sharing any stories. None. You know, wouldn't get in the water, but will come because it was that safe space where we hung out, and literally our parents could be comfortable that we were going to be safe all day while they had to work. So we had a lifeguard, Toby Strickland, taught all of us how to swim. And I'm seeing some head noddings because that was the only lifeguard we had here at Roosevelt Pool, and he cared and made certain that we were safe when we came here. Toby not only taught us how to swim, he taught those of us who were adventurous enough to learn how to dive. And you will see the photo there with some of the females diving into the pool. I never could comport in my mind why it made sense to put your head first into the water, so I shied off of the diving lessons. But there were a number of just great swimmers that came out of Roosevelt Pool that went on to make the swim teams when the city became segregated. You know, and certainly my brother Will Johnson was one of those. We had Anthony Reed, who was an incredible swimmer and diver, Bollington Turner, George Smith, Victor Bannister, and it was just the list goes on and on and on. But I do want to just share one footnote with you. Now, the pool actually at night on certain weekends, they would have splash parties at night for the older kids, and that's where they hung out at the weekend. And those younger kids, and I was excluded from this story, would just come and find a way somehow to get in for the splash parties that were held at night. The pool, it was a dime to get in the pool. I was one of those low-income kids whose mom couldn't afford a dime for all 5 or 6 of us who came. And I would tell you that some of the other kids came up with creative ways to develop distractions. One would pay the dime and the rest would get in, but I was not one of those kids. Thank you.
It's not my turn. I can't wait.
Sure. We'll pivot a little bit.
So my name is Margarita Meos Mendez. I'm a community planning development representative. I work closely with Kimberly and Jennifer. So good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. It's thanks to the combined efforts of the City of West Palm Beach employees, contractors, and hot staff that we are here today to this ribbon cutting ceremony of the Eva W. Mack Community Hub. I would like to thank all the members of the City of West Palm Beach, a special thanks to the City Mayor, Keith James, Faye Johnson, City Administrator, and City Commissioner Sholanda Warren for their support of this project, and of course, you, that I know you from our office before, Armando, so, and all of you. I would also like to thank the lead agency, the City of West Palm Beach employees and contractors for their commitment to this project. HUD provide grant assistance through their Community Development Block Grant Program under public facilities and improvement that will allow communities to redevelop and create new projects that benefit low-income areas of the city realm. The Eva W. Mack Community Hub was completed in May 2023 with $3.6 million in community development block grant funds. This 3-year project started during the height of COVID pandemic. But despite the challenging times, your amazing city team brought this public facility to the life to serve your most vulnerable low-income residents for years to come. The building comprises, like the mayor said, about the conference room and all the spaces, but as an architect, I can say that it's a beautiful building, and all people deserve a good architecture and a good spaces. It's high ceilings. I was struck by the ceiling, by the light coming from outside, the office, the meeting rooms, the conference room is really amazing. So I congratulate you for this project. Also, the building design accommodates client needs that providing access to public computers for job searches, printing services, and a facility that have bathrooms and shower. Part of HUD mission is to inform and seek individuals unaware of available assistance. The commitment of the city street engagement team that will go beyond the office building relationship, coordinating services and connected participants to housing resources, ensuring outreach to the most vulnerable in your community is commendable. Also, bringing the individuals to the Eva Mack Community Hub for further evaluation and connecting them to all HUD programs available is very important for the success of all our programs. The city support to benefit low-income areas by providing through one-time move-in and rental assistance to individuals that are experiencing or at risk of homelessness is one of the most important missions at HUD. By meeting the need for quality, affordable rental homes to utilize housing as a platform for improving quality of life. HUD commitment every year is to provide community development block grant funds to the city of West Palm Beach that will help create jobs and strengthen neighborhoods at the same time. We all at HUD thanks the city of West Palm Beach for creating an example for South Florida on how those CDBG funds should be used. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you. My name is Alfonso Hernandez, and I am really grateful to be here. Grateful to a lot of people, so I want to just thank, first of all, Mayor Keith James. I'm very grateful for the opportunities to be here. We just didn't arrive by chance. The city offers opportunities and we compete. And we were fortunate enough to win this project and to be able to work with Jennifer Farrell, obviously with Lucy Joseph, and also with Sam Berglund, who's not here today. So those opportunities, we're very grateful when we get those, and to try to do the best that we can. My office is located just down the street on Clematis Street, and we work really hard because we want to improve West Palm Beach. And the city of West Palm Beach gave me an opportunity a long time ago. And with every opportunity that we do happen to have the ability to do a design, we want to do the best that we can. So today I just wanted to share a few things with you all. It's some of the little details that hopefully you'll appreciate as you go through the building, with some of the subliminal things that happen in the building. So obviously, as we mentioned, we wanted to create all the program to meet the needs of the staff and also for the folks that are going to come in here. But just like it was mentioned, the artwork, there's also artwork that happens on the inside. There is a water wall that's right above that entrance, and so that recalls the history of the place. So sometimes recalling the history of the place is important because that is the reference of where things were, even though that people have transcended and have gone and have done other wonderful things. But it's a little bit of a story of the place, the history, the moment. The ladies that are diving into the water, it's not just reflecting the history of the pool, but the idea is to dive in to something, to politics. And who's overlooking that is Eva Mack. Eva Mack is in front encouraging those ladies to dive in the water. And so these are subliminal small messages that when people come into the building, hopefully they see. When you walk into the space, the idea is so you can look up. You can actually see the light that's coming through. It allows you to come and be able to feel a certain sense of hope, because the idea that people come to the building are looking for something and assistance. And so the architecture tries to explain those ideas. And so the idea is that you walk in, you feel a sense of, again, that, this is comforting to a certain extent. So the architectural treatments are subliminal, but they're there. And the light in the morning, today, unfortunately, you don't quite see it with all the rain, but the light is meant to be coming from the east. And basically, you don't really need, other type of lighting. It's just natural lighting that flows into the space, and you look up. And so that's the idea. There's certain hope, there's certain ideas that I just wanted to share with you. So also in this process, we had a fortunate team that was really brought together. They also had to compete to have the honor to join us here. But that's also a Burke Construction. And just to let you all know what a pleasure it was to work with Burke Construction. They're an amazing group, and we were in the middle of COVID, middle of just materials not available, all the different hurdles that you could imagine, and also we have deadlines. We got to complete the project. We have a budget that we can't really stretch too much. And so Burke was instrumental in helping us to achieve all those goals. We worked really hard as a team, and again, we're very grateful to them because they executed and they really care just as much as I do, just as much as the mayor and everybody else that is part of this team. So with that, I just want to introduce David Martinez and Burke Construction. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a mutual pleasure working with Alfonso for the first time. You guys made an incredible choice. The Bible, everybody talks about vision. The Bible tells us without vision the people perish. And I think that's even more susceptible for the vulnerable and the less fortunate, that they perish because we don't have leaders that have vision, that can take taxpayer dollars and do the right thing with them and make buildings like this. We did, as Alfonso mentioned, have some delays due to shortages and COVID and labor shortages and everything that could go wrong. But I think that the spirit of Eva Mack really embodies this community. At the groundbreaking, I mentioned that we developed this company not just to build buildings, but to build communities. And communities is nothing more than a common word of common unity, common purpose. When we come together as a community and do the right thing, and with a common purpose, anything can be achieved. I think Eva Mack, her life exemplified that. Exemplified that it's not how others look at you, it's how you look at yourself that makes you special. And she was a special person, and her legacy of her name is embedded in the building forever. But the legacy of her spirit resides with us as a community, to work together, to live together, to make this city one of the best cities in all of Florida. So I commend the mayor for his vision and his team, and Jennifer and Susan and Lucy. It was such a pleasure to work with, which us dealing with a lot of municipalities, I can tell you, is usually not the case. We're usually arguing with architects because they have egos and they want something done and they didn't put it on paper. I can tell you that Alfonso, without a doubt, and not saying this because he's here or because of the kind words that he said, was honestly one of the best architects that we've worked with in the last 20 years. And I mean that sincerely. So thank you for taking this city and this leadership's vision, putting it on paper so that we could make it a reality. And thank you for your confidence in us. I told you at the groundbreaking we would give it everything that we had, and we did through a lot of obstacles. But again, the spirit of Eva Mack lives on in this and in us.
Good morning, everyone. I am going to start this off by asking for your grace this morning as you bear with me that I do not become overcome by the joy in my heart and the emotions that I feel about the magnitude of this moment.
Oh, just let it out, girl.
Just let it all out.
Call it allergies.
Okay. This is a very big deal. This is a very significant moment in our community. This is something that is so, my heart is so very full. And so where I don't typically prepare notes, I prepared some notes this morning so that I don't forget everything, because there's just so much to celebrate today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who Eva W. Mack was and what her legacy is. And although I did not personally have the opportunity to know the legendary Eva W. Mack, I am inspired by her each and every day. Trust me as I say that the legacy of Eva Mack lives on and is larger today than I think that she could have imagined that it would be, because I know that she did not do the things that she did for notoriety. She didn't do it for her name to be on a building. She did it because it was what was in her heart and what she felt compelled to do and what she knew needed to be done. And she had the courage and the strength and the tenacity to stand up and do it in face of so many different obstacles. And we can talk often about Eva Mack being one of the first black commissioners in the city of West Palm Beach, and then going on to become the first black mayor of the city of West Palm Beach. It is interesting that what she said was that she was not most proud of becoming the first black mayor of the city of West Palm Beach, because she felt, these are her words, "I am not proud of the fact that I'm the first black mayor of West Palm Beach." She said, "As I think back over the years, I remember the many black men and women who tried and failed in their attempts to win elections and to become a part of the commission and a part of the leadership of this great city." But she did not stop. She continued to move forward, and she continued to work with others, other great community leaders, people like Percy Lee, who started the Urban League, Maud Ford Lee, who became the first black county commissioner for Palm Beach County, and of course Eva W. Mack and others that worked together and understood the power of community. They understood that together, when we all work and have a united purpose, that there's so much that we can do and achieve together. So Eva W. Mack, she was a nurse, she was a teacher, she was a community activist, she was a social activist, she was an entrepreneur, she was a visionary, she was a pioneer, she was a lover of the people, and she was a champion of the most vulnerable in our community. And Eva W. Mack, along with, in 1973, the West Palm Beach chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and there are several of her sorority sisters present today, under the direction of its member Eva W. Mack, sponsored the sickle cell screening and counseling program for high school students in Palm Beach County. This program was only funded for 1 year, but it was the beginning of what we now identify as the Sickle Cell Foundation of Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast. Eva W. Mack recognized the importance of public, private, and community collaboration in order to be the most effective. And it was through that leadership, it was through her influence as a commissioner, it was through all of those things that she recognized that we must do the most that we can to support community-based organizations. And that's what we all see here today. This is so significant. They knew that this corner was the hinge block to this community. This is where the pool was located. This is where our community was educated, where you had Roosevelt Elementary, you had Roosevelt Middle, and you had Roosevelt High School. That is where the black people in this community were educated. That is, and right across the street from Gaines Park. So all of these factors were significantly important to this corner being a hinge block and being recognized as a very important part of this community. And it is because of that that I'm so very happy to see that the services are being expanded. And I know that although Eva Mack was a visionary, I am sure that she is pleased to know that this block that she fought for will serve so many people in so many capacities. It is amazing. It is amazing. And I'd like to recognize and thank the members of my board that are present. I do see Mr. Anthony Bradford and Mr. Darnell Gardner. To the members of Delta Sigma Theta sorority that are present. To the amazing members of the staff of the Sickle Cell Foundation. Thank you all for continuing the legacy that was started some 50 years ago and continues today and continues to grow. And I'd like to thank the people that have made this possible. Thank you, Mayor James, for all that you've done. And I'd like to say, when we were getting started, and Jennifer Ferriel and I had conversations, and she was like, okay, so we have to decide what we're going to name the building, and there's so, yeah, I'm telling the people. I'm telling people. And I said, well, Jennifer, I think the mayor wants to stay mayor, and I want to stay here too. And there's nothing that we can do but name the building after Eva W. Mack, unless we all gonna be run up out of here by the people of West Palm Beach. And I know you want to stay here, correct, Mayor? I want to stay here as well. And but Jennifer then began to do her own research, and the mayor came forward and recognized the significance of not just the name, but what the name represents. And to me, personally, the name Eva W. Mack is synonymous with community unity. It is synonymous with doing the most that we can for the most people possible at each and every time we have the opportunity, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is unpopular, because it is necessary and because we go so much further together. So with that, I'm going to, and I know it's cold and rainy, my fingers are cold, but I am delighted to be here today, and I feel all of the love of my friends that have come out this morning to celebrate this moment with us. I thank you all for your time. I thank you for your love, and will you please join me over here at this red ribbon.